I want to welcome you back to the D-Lo Show. I'm glad you're here. Appreciate you tuning in as I do these deep dives into cases that matter to our community. Before we get started today, though, if you value what we do here, if you value what I do with a part of this, please remember to like, subscribe, follow, do all those things that you do with your other platforms, other things you like, and so you can help me promote mine as well too. It helps me keep these stories in the spotlight, gives me a little encouragement, and gets more people out there who may want to hear this stuff. So. Also want to be very direct today. Today's episode covers a legal case that's exceptionally difficult to hear. We're going to be discussing the severe neglect of an infant and a toddler, and the details are pretty graphic and deeply upsetting. This episode also contains references to suicide as well. And if you or someone you know is in a sensitive place, please consider skipping this one and listen, or if you are just listening along with caution. I also want to start by saying there is no shame in reaching out for help. If you are a parent and you feel like you are just at the breaking point, or if you know someone who's struggling to care for their children, please know that there are safe, anonymous options out there. In Washington, in fact, we have what's called the Safety of Newborn Children Law, which allows you, if you have a newborn, to leave your child, your newborn, up to 3 days old at any staffed fire station or hospital emergency room. No questions asked. If your children are older and you are in crisis, you can call the family helpline, and that number is 1-800-932-4673. They can help you find a temporary care for your child or parenting support. And if you are struggling with your own mental health or thoughts of self-harm, please call or text 988. It's a national suicide hotline and crisis lifeline. Anytime, night or day, you are not alone and help is available. Now, let's go ahead and look at this case. This is the case of Kyleah Rose Tolle. Kyleah Rose Tolle. She's still and just so that we know right here, this one is not solved yet. So this one's currently in the process, but I'm going to go back through this right here. I'm going to go through it. So once again, I'm your host, Ryan D-Lo Delosier, and today we're looking at a local true crime case that has shaken Central Washington to its core. This is the story of a double life, a catastrophic system failure, and an unimaginable tragedy. It started on the morning of Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Yakima police received a 911 call from a 20-year-old woman named Kyleah Rose Tolle. She wasn't at home. She told the dispatcher she was leaving, that one of her children was dead, and that she was going to take her own life. Officers were immediately dispatched for a welfare check to her apartment in the 300 block of North 4th Street Avenue here in Yakima. They found the front door unlocked. Inside, the home was oddly quiet, but the air was heavy with the smell of garbage and animal waste. When officers opened a closed bedroom door, they made a discovery that veteran authorities described as truly horrific. Lying in a bassinet was a 7-month-old Sherry Rose Leanne Tolle. She was deceased, and an autopsy would later confirm that she died of starvation. But then, officers heard a soft cry coming from a nearby crib. That one's a good one, right? That's a close one. It's a little heavy right there. In that crib was Sherry's 2-year-old sister. Miraculously, she was alive, but she was severely emaciated and showed signs of prolonged neglect. At 2 years old, she weighed only 16 pounds. She was rushed to Multicare, Yakima Memorial Hospital, and later flown to Seattle Children's Hospital for life-saving treatment. While doctors fought to save the toddler's life, the Yakima Police Department launched a manhunt for Kyleah. Thanks to community tips, they tracked her down at Squaw Rock Resort and campground. It's about 10 miles northeast of Natchez. She wasn't hiding deep in the woods. She was sitting at a campground store using their Wi-Fi signal because her car was out of gas. Little sidebar on this, so this isn't necessarily a campground. It's a place up there. It's up past Natchez, kind of as you head into the mountains, the Cascade Mountain Range. And they have there's a great restaurant there. It's there's spots to park an RV, but there's also a restaurant. There's also a lodge there where you could stay. I had breakfast once there with my dad while I was heading over to the Northwest Nationals for drag racing in the early 1990s. So in February, when she was headed up there, so this time I remember going back, this February 25th, the road that she's driving on is referred to as Highway 410, and it actually closes up at the top of Chinook Pass because they just get so much snow. So she really, she couldn't go much further. She could go another 45 minutes along that road at most. But yeah, so she was heading up there. And as you do head into the mountains right there, you do run out of cell service. So she was using, it was mentioned that she was using the store Wi-Fi. And you might ask, doesn't she have just cell phone data? Like, she has a phone there. Why can't she use that? And that's because, the store. And actually, she had asked one of the people up there that was staying in their RV. I found out that she had actually asked someone camping there for the code to be able to access the Wi-Fi. So yeah, she just kind of, stealing Wi-Fi up in the mountains, leaving babies behind, just being a bad parent all around. So, all right, back to this. So when she was arrested up there at Squaw Rock, Kyleah spun a story. She claimed she had left the girls with a babysitter that she called K or KK. And she told police she had been gone for days. And actually, she got arrested on a minor warrant at the McDonald's drive-thru and couldn't get back to her kids. So she was arrested just as another, when she was arrested during that time when she was gone, prior to this, she had just been arrested a few days earlier. It was on February 24th, and it was at 1:30 a.m. in the McDonald's drive-thru. Police, and just as a note right here as well too, police later arrived at her apartment on the 300 block of North 4th Avenue at 7:25. So that was on the 25th to discover what had happened at her house. That's almost 30 hours later from when she was arrested until the police showed up at her house. Investigators quickly tore that story of KK apart. Hey, they found the woman Kyleah was referring to, a woman who was named Kara and who went by KK. The problem with Kyleah's alibi, Kara had been sitting in the Yakima County jail for 3 weeks and couldn't possibly have been at the apartment babysitting her children, as Kyleah had said. Think about that for a second. Even in her best case scenario, even if Kyleah is just off and someone killed her daughters who was babysitting them, even if that is true, okay, even if she didn't make this story up, she's describing a life where just leaving your kids with someone who could be currently sitting in jail for 3 weeks is considered just normal. It's a disturbing look into the chaotic environment she felt was acceptable for her own children. As the investigation deepened, a much darker reality emerged. While her children were starving behind a closed door, Kyleah was trying to build an online presence on OnlyFans, and she was posting videos on TikTok. Friends reported that she would consume cocaine in the kitchen while her babies were just in the other room. What's even more chilling is that this wasn't the first time she had been accused of starving anyone or other people that she is taking care of. Other, maybe not necessarily people, but in December of 2023, the neighbors reported 2 dogs that were abandoned at her home. Officers found a dead German Shepherd in a kennel with no bedding and a husky that was severely emaciated and tangled in a wire leash. Because of a severe shortage of attorneys and public defenders in Yakima County at the time, prosecutors delayed filing those animal cruelty charges for over a year. So this brings up the most frustrating part of the story. The system that was supposed to protect those girls. The Washington Department of Children, Youth, and Families, or DCYF, had been to Kyleah's house. They had been in Kyleah's life for years. The state report revealed that child welfare workers had visited her and her children at least 18 times over a 3-year period. They opened 4 different investigations into child neglect. They knew she had parenting deficits. Yet despite knowing she was high risk, DCYF closed her case on April 4th, 2024. Simply because a caseworker found the home to be fairly clean during one visit. Because the services DCYF offered were voluntary, Kyleah was allowed to just opt out, and the state walked away. This tragedy has forced a change in Washington law. State Senator Nikki Torres sponsored Senate Bill 5977 to increase public transparency in near fatality cases, drawing direct inspiration from baby Cherry and her surviving sister. So where do we stand today? As of early 2026, Kyleah Rose Tolle remains in the Yakima County Jail on $25,000 bail. She has pleaded not guilty to first-degree manslaughter, criminal mistreatment, family abandonment, and those resurrected 2023 animal cruelty charges. Her jury trial is currently set for June 1st, 2026. And so I went through and I went back and looked as well too. And you can look at the Yakima County inmate roster, and she's listed on there currently as an inmate, and they have offenses that are listed for why she's there. So she is on there, and the listings are first degree animal cruelty. She has 2 counts of that. First degree criminal mistreatment. That's 2 counts of that. Family abandonment, manslaughter, and a minor in possession or consumption of liquor. I have a feeling she may have just had that with her when she was arrested. I don't know what, but those are the reasons why she is currently in jail, sitting on $25,000 bail. All right, we carry on with this. The surviving child is recovering and is now in the protective guardianship of her maternal grandparents. We will be watching this trial closely this summer to see if the system that failed Cherry in life can finally provide her some semblance of justice in death. As we do wrap this episode up, this case is definitely a haunting reminder of what happens when the systems designed to protect our children fail, and when a person in crisis feels they have no way out or chooses not to take that way, not to pursue those ways that are offered. As we close out today's episode, I want to leave you with these resources that are available to you that I mentioned in the beginning of this episode. We talk about these cases to learn from them. I go through and I look through them too. They're interesting, but I also want to be able to stop these from happening. This is it's an understatement to say it's a tragedy. One of the biggest lessons here is that the tragedy, this one here, could have been prevented if help is reached in time. So for mental health or suicide crises, you can call or text 988. That's 988. For parents in Washington reaching a breaking point, you can call the Parent Trust Family Helpline. That's 1-800-932-4673. They provide judgment-free support and can connect you with resources to keep your children safe. And then for Safe Haven, they have newborns that are up to 72 hours old. You can go to any staffed fire station or hospital emergency room, and you can also call the Safe Haven hotline at 1-888-510-BABY. That's again 1-888-510-BABY. Completely anonymous. And if you suspect a child in your neighborhood is being neglected or is in danger, please don't stay silent. In Washington, you can report concerns to the Child Abuse Hotline at 1-866-END-HARM. That's 1-866-ENDHARM. Thank you for listening to the D-Lo Show. Take care of you and take care of yourself and take care of those around you. Be on the lookout. I will see you next time for another episode. Again, thanks for hanging on for this long with this one. I will be coming back to this one, guaranteed. I want to hit this case again. I want to see what the result is at the end. I think we all kind of waiting to see how this one plays out. It's interesting. There is a video if you want to go check out more on this. You can look up Kyleah Rose Tolle and just put EWU in there, and there is a video that's put on by I can't think of the name of it, but it's a Herald up there. It's related to Eastern Washington University, and they have done a deep dive into this. They have videos of interrogations with Kyleah. They are chilling. This person definitely needs some help, one way or the other. So, I will be coming back to this. We'll be hitting this again. And in the meantime, thank you for listening to the D-Lo Show. Have a great day.